single month, how we can savor those people, how we can have that discussion, and keep them on LRP to see the value of it as an ongoing lifestyle, not a short-term investment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think I covered why long term, but to get people into LRP, something that I did quite early on, and I've still got customers on LRP, was create an incentive like this, but it was actually a little bit different. I've shared this in the group. So earlier on, when I started, I created a promotion that was, if someone enrolls this month and they place 100 PV LRP for the following 3 months, they would get a free oil box from doTERRA to keep all their awesome oils in. So that worked extremely well, and loads of people are still on LRP. So what it was is the communication that we have with these people. So I gave them the opportunity. Now for us, anything they order in their first 60 days is we get a really high percentage commission back. So it's well and truly paid for the oil box. So I wanted to get them onto LRP ASAP. I wanted to get them shipping that first LRP within that 60-day period. And the communication through that, and the communication of what oils would support them and what oils they could get. And also once that 3 months was up, I would get them to jump into the dashboard and have a look at their percentage, because their percentage has then increased. And in my message to them, I always let them know that if they wanted to up it to 125, they would also get a free product in the month. And it's not now, but back then, doTERRA would have pretty much every third month a 200 PV incentive. So that would come across as well, where they got that. By the 3 months, their LRP points will be showing up. So they see their points have accumulated. They see that there's percentages come up. We've had education on how to use the oils, and that's really important too. So education on their anchor products, so that the On Guard concentrate, the toothpaste, lemon, lavender, peppermint, the long life vitality, these are staples in most people's LRPs. A lot of people have 2 standard LRP orders that ship out, all their consumables that they use all the time, plus another one for any extra oils that they want to get. So education is important. We're currently creating, it should be almost finished soon, the ebook on the On Guard concentrate, because I think that is really important, and some teams have that as their anchor product. That is the standard thing. When they enroll someone, they get them onto LRP and they put that straight into their shopping list for the next month to come out. So retention is important, and you're not going to retain someone if you're not present or communicating. So I know Marilyn likes to do this as well, and I'm sure a few others like to do this, but every month have a handful of people that you're going to reach out to that you've personally enrolled, to keep that relationship up, to keep that education up. We have loads of online classes. We have loads of ebooks. We have our email series. So these are all things that are created to have people educated so they can continue to be purchasing on LRP long term. If someone's not using the oils, they're not going to continue to buy. If someone's not using the concentrate, they're not going to continue to buy. Ongoing emails, messages, keeping them into the groups and tagging them, finding information that's suitable. I've just personally sent out to my personal customers some information. So I've bought some things from au.aroma tools, some information on how to use the oils, and I've placed a loyalty reward customer sheet in there and a little bit of other information, and also the Live Guide, and I've made packs. So with those packs, I'm sending them out to current customers to get them onto the loyalty reward program, and a nice little personal message that I write. So I start it on the back of the card, handwritten, personalized is so important. So with that, the opportunity to educate, the opportunity to reconnect and give them things is there without having a hard sale of go on this. So like, just sending them something beautiful with education is always the way that is going to create that person to want to continue to purchase stuff. It is the lifeline of your business. Without having retention and without us working towards keeping that standard at 65 and even pushing it above, it will drop. The percentage will continue to drop. So it's our job as wellness advocates to make sure that we really are onto our customers and we really are onto helping them. doTERRA also help us. So if someone hasn't gone on to LRP after a few months, they send them an email to offer them an oil to go onto the free program now, which is incredible. We never used to have that. That's something new. So they're helping us to make a retained business, and your retention will come from having people on the loyalty reward program. So imagine you needed 3,000 points, right, to hit your rank this month, and you enrolled 10 people last month. Well, if you got those 10 people on LRP and they all placed a 100 PV order, that's already 1,000 PV that you have gained from last month. And then you enroll more this month. And that's how your increase of your business will continue to grow really, really rapidly.
Can I just add in that as well, because I love that point. Yes, we are so blessed in the way that doTERRA are now taking interest in our individual businesses by helping us to send these emails. Now, they don't just send the person the emails, they send them to us as well. So it's really important to please open your emails when doTERRA have sent you a team update, an update about your organization, and it will say, we have emailed such and such person to let them know that this. So did this just last week, where I basically just picked up that email, saw the 2 people that doTERRA have emailed. They've offered them a lavender oil to place a 100 PV order because they haven't ordered since they enrolled. So I messaged them and said, hey, I saw that doTERRA are going to give you a free lavender if you place a 100 PV order this month. That's pretty bloody amazing, isn't it? And I started a conversation and they wrote back, and both of them did not even see the email. So it was actually very crucial that I sent them that personal message because they didn't even know. And they're like, fuck, that's amazing. Yeah, awesome. I get paid next week. So I'm going to put my order in, make sure my order gets in before the end of the month, and I'll let you know when I've done it. Awesome. So next week, I'm going to follow them up. If I haven't seen it in my back office yet, I'm going to follow them up and I'm going to make sure that they've placed it, or I'm going to remind them, because who doesn't want a free oil, right? So this stuff is really, really important because we think about we're always so stuck on bringing new people into our organization, but we miss all the nuggets that are inside the tree. It is so important to chop out time in your week to stay in your tree. Look in your tree. Get to know the people in your tree. Who haven't you connected with yet for a while? Who haven't you communicated with? Who can you talk to? Because I also know that most of the time, like Anastasia was saying, relationship with your people is literally the difference between whether they go on LRP or not. Not always. Sometimes people adjust their own minds and they do what they want to do. But most of the time we're a network marketing organization, and it's all about the network, and it's about the relationship. And people, if they trust you, like you, know you, and trust you, then they're going to be more inclined to go onto loyalty reward program and stay on LRP than if they don't have that relationship with you. And I see it within my own organization. I see the gaps. I see where people have enrolled people and haven't maintained relationships, or haven't been supported. And most of the time, none of those people are on LRP. You can see that. Okay, we're not always going to get 100% turnover. Like, you're going to enroll 10 people, but our aim is to always have at least a 50% retention rate. So you enroll 10 people this month, you want to try and aim for at least 5 onto LRP. And as Annie was saying, like, that means that that's 5 less people. That's like having another 5 enrollments the following month and the month after and the month after, because they're still there and they're still ordering, just like having a new enrollment. So really important stuff. And then maybe, Annie, can we quickly just also touch on, if we have some time, because I think this is really, really important, and it goes back to being in your tree and knowing your people. Can we talk a little bit about activating people onto LRP purely for having their oils covered and paid for, and explaining the kind of discussions that we can have this with those people to let them know that it would be in their best interest to keep their LRP at 100 PV, because this is what you're going to do for them.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, the opportunity for people to also get the power of three, which we discussed on last week's call, is a roll on onto this. So, if someone's getting their oils paid for, they're going to continue to buy, right? If they can get their friends to get their oils paid for, them and their friends are going to continue. And if they get their friends, there is a whole heap of people that are not only getting their oils paid for, but 250 to $2,000 is getting paid out to each of those individual people on top of, just because the power of three is in place. But if you're not looking at it in a power of three opportunity, and you're just looking at it how they can get their oils paid for, like Marilyn said, it's so super important. Like last week, I spent quite a lot of time looking through, and I would contact the person that enrolled them, or the leader, the silver leader, and say, hey, I've just noticed that this person's LRP is so close to 100 PV. They're enrolled as a wellness advocate, or they've upgraded as a wellness advocate. They could be earning their oils for free from just all the pure volume that's coming out. Or if someone, wants the oils but cannot afford the oils, talking to them about, hey, would you have 3 friends that want to stock up and gradually build their stuff? Did you know that you could earn your oils back simply by having your friends also order? So having that conversation is so super crucial, and being really strategic and clever with what's happening in your organization. So your LRP has, it's there to help also get your power of 3, right? Which is a total of 600. So if I truly believe, like we've discussed on the earlier calls, that once you're a strong elite, you need to be looking at upping your LRP to 150. So you can be qualifying as a team to start earning your power of 3. I know people who are not actively hard building a business, but they earn the 3 levels of power of 3. And that is so super special. That's an extra $2,000 every month, $2,000 every month for having a really beautiful structure. So if you notice that your LRP is at 125 and the overall volume between you and on your front line is at 580, up your order to 150, up your LRP to 150, so you qualify for that $70. You've spent an extra 30 and you've got an extra 40 in your pocket. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. Mazzy, do you want to add some stuff onto this one?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, for another example, so I had a chat with somebody today in one of my teams. That is one of the legs is a weaker leg, okay, and we're looking to create some structure in there. So I pinpointed a person who I know, and a person who I know loves the oils, and a person who I know would really appreciate getting their oils for free every single month. I know that the difference between them ordering 60 PV and 100 PV is purely income. So, but they're completely loyal to their doTERRA usage, okay, and they love their stuff. So I had the discussion with her and said, look, I placed a couple of enrollments underneath you, and it's pretty amazing because one of those is a pretty big LRP account, and they're going to be making some pretty big orders every single month. And what I'm actually looking to do in that leg is create some structure. So I'm actually going to be thinking about moving some people around within my organization, and I'm going to place them underneath you. If I was to do that, if you maintain a 100 PV LRP every single month, then you're going to initially get at least 90% of your LRP order paid for. Eventually your LRP order will be completely covered, so you'll be getting your oils for free completely, and then it will get to a point where you're actually getting some extra pocket money to add to some things at home. Is this something that you would be interested in? Because once I place the structure there, then I can't really change it around. And so she replied to me, and she was absolutely ecstatic that I had done that, and so excited. And she said, yes, absolutely, if you go ahead and do that, I will absolutely maintain my LRP at 100 PV always, and I'm so very grateful for doing that. So sometimes it's about looking at the opportunity of the customers who are just completely pure purely loyal and faithful to their oils. They live the lifestyle, and you know that they're lifers. You know that they're going to be maintaining that 100 PV LRP, and if they're going to get their oils for free, then why the hell wouldn't they? So sometimes it's going to help us, like in activating our power of 3 in positions, because we know that, you know, the doTERRA structure looks beautiful on paper, but we know when it comes to actually building a business, it doesn't always work out that way, right? We don't always have the right people in the right places. So sometimes it's just about having the right conversations and activating LRP customers, whether they're business builders or not. So there's also opportunity in that, and we really need to get good at doing that, okay? Having the right conversations with the people. And then I guess you can feed that back onto as well, the education and support, all right? If we don't educate and support them to use their oils, they're not going to know how to use them, so they're not going to use them. They're not going to be able to use them every single day. They won't embrace them, and hence they won't have that life-changing experience that we're trying to create. So it all flows into each other. At the end of the day, it's all pipes, okay? But LRP can be activated by so many different ways within our organization, by sharers, by builders, and just by customers. Everybody can benefit from being an LRP customer in so many different ways.
Amazing. Does anyone have any questions on that? I think that is a really, really good example. And it's funny because sometimes we feel like, I know everyone feels this way, oh, will they think that I'm being businessy or salesy, or what will they think of me if I was to speak to them about this? But clearly, like, we are helping them, and from the response that Marilyn was explaining, people would love that. They actually would love it. It's us in our own minds that quite often can hold back what we're thinking, who we're approaching, and what we're doing in our business. And I know I'm not alone, and quite often I've got to be like, no, what am I talking about? This is absolutely incredible. Who wouldn't want to get their essential oils paid for? And having those conversations that, yeah, clearly this lady is very happy. And that's the reason why I have so many people on LRP from when I started. They all went on, they all got their free oil box. They all started to see that they'll, you know, so when you are doing this, you obviously need to upgrade them into a wellness advocate if you're going to be placing their friends underneath them. So you can have that conversation and say, hey, you don't need to actively build a business, but I'm going to upgrade you. I'm going to place you somewhere awesome, send you free oil, get your friends underneath you, get your oils paid for. What do you say? Like, obviously having that in a really meaningful way is really important. And because you know if they're actively building or not, you're going to know where to place them. You're going to know you don't have, want to put them on your front line. You're going to know where to place them. But that's where you're going to get your overall structure and volume from as well. So just having a whole heap of customers ordering all the time. If someone's a loyalty reward customer and they're ordering all the time, ask them if they want to upgrade, so you can start placing some people on under them and they can start earning some commissions back. And this is also where the seed gets planted, and when they do start seeing, like, I can foresee where this conversation, this journey is going to go with this lady that Marilyn's just got to place an order. She's going to be interested to know, well, if I actually put some effort and time into this business, where could it possibly take me? So there is that seed where we're softly and gently watering that seed to become a really amazing builder. And the best builders are the ones that love their oils, right? You love your oils, you share the oils, you live the oils. So it makes the job a lot easier. So it's really incredible. Has anyone got any questions or want to discuss anything further? This is a perfect opportunity to express or ask. And there is no question that you should not ask.
Does anybody want to openly discuss any sort of inhibitions that you have around having the LRP discussion? Because we know that this exists, we know that this is a thing, and it's perfectly normal and it's perfectly okay. We know that it can sometimes be a difficult conversation to have, especially when we are yet to understand the value of LRP, because we may feel like we're just asking people to spend more money, or, when they've just bought a $330 home essentials kit and now we're asking them to go on LRP. I know that it can be a very difficult thing to do in the beginning until we ourselves really understand the value of that and know that we actually want people to go on to LRP because this is the best thing for them. Does anyone want to openly have this discussion? No?
Well, I'm hoping with this, the first half of this call will hopefully allow that mindset to shift, to see the value, to understand that, you know, getting $700 back in value when you've spent $1,000, it's nothing to joke about. Like, I think that's crazy. It's really crazy. As a person building a business, your number one aim wants to be to get your oils paid for. You do not want to be out of pocket for your LRP. So have a look at how can you enroll people, at what stage, at how many, until you are very comfortable in getting your LRP paid for. So if your LRP is not getting covered, say your LRP is about $150, right? And that's more than what it would be if you were having 100 PV and you're ordering smart, right? So let's just say 150. That's 3 people with a home essentials kit and a fractionated coconut oil to order for the month. Just 3 people with a home essentials kit and a fractionated coconut oil, and your order is covered. That's without any loyalty reward program people underneath you. That's without anyone building and ordering underneath you. It's that simple. It really is that simple. So please do not fear the LRP. Please do not fear that it needs to be shipped. You need to change your mindset, because I couldn't afford my next LRP, and my mindset, and that was 150 PV. We all did 150 PVs. It wasn't, after you hit elite, it's a good idea to start placing 150. We were all placing 150. So, you know, I knew I had to have 4 or 5 people every month. So what could I do to help that? And that was create incentives to send out. So if a couple of people reordered the following month, I knew that that was going to help with my commissions, especially in the first 60 days of their orders. So super important to get your oils covered for, I think, is really a very important thing that I didn't touch over earlier in this call, because that's what's going to make your life simple. And there is people earning so much money in this business just from being on LRP long term. So long term, you know, when you've got your business to a really stable position, that you're never ever going to worry about that. You're probably going to be ordering 2, 3, 4 times a month because you are going to run out of stuff, and you're going to live the lifestyle so much that you want so much things, and then you run out or you forget during the month. It won't even be a conversation. So ensure that you're enrolling those 3 people a month and getting them onto LRP and growing your business at a minimum. Get your oils covered for. So there is I know we're going off topic a little bit, but there is some stats, and the stats are, if somebody enrolls 10 people while they're a wellness advocate, they will never stop. They will never stop building a business. So get to your 10 and you will start seeing the rewards on LRP, which will be incredible. That was a little bit of a side thing there, but I think important maybe to add on as well. All right, I'm going to end the recording.